Breaking it down in layman's terms, talking all things virtual selling, video marketing, and a whole lot more. In this episode, we'll talk about the concept of leveraging visual elements for better sales engagement, repurposing video content, and the concept of social watching. But before we get this episode started, I want to send it off to my virtual co-host, Virtual Vonda. V?
Thanks, Doug. Vonda V is here. Always ready to talk virtual selling video. Now, let's break it down in layman's terms, adding visual elements for better video messaging and sales engagement. Visualize and recognize the visual social proof, starting with our great show. And now, back to you, Doug.
Thanks, Vonda. So let's get into it. Visual elements that enhance your own video sales calls and your video messaging. What's in your message is very important. Your nonverbal cues, the way you're toning your voice, making sure you're looking at the camera lens, you're in tune with your audience, you're in the moment with your viewers, with your customers. That's all important. But today I really want to hone in on the surroundings of your video message, how to make and amplify your video message that resonates more value and delivers more insight or more impact to your viewing audience or your clients. Visual elements. So when we think about visual elements, we think about perhaps virtual backgrounds and green screens. Or do I go with my own personalized office? A cluttered office is a bad look, and a poorly lit green screen that has distortion and shadows and clutter, well, that's a bad look too. So you've got to take into account your presentation value of what's behind you. So let's talk a little bit about some of the benefits of leveraging a green screen. You've got a cluttered office or small office space. A green screen is a great tool. But taking the green screen and your virtual background selected with the right background can be very beneficial. You can add company branding, logos. You can add insight and branding for your viewer, for your client to get their attention. As long as it's a attraction and not a distraction. There's a fine line with that. A poorly lit green screen can do you a lot of harm. Here's an example. Now, it's a little bit exaggerated, but you see the shadows, the color distortion, and everything else. And let's be real. The Zoom backgrounds come with their generic backgrounds. You're not selling the Golden Gate Bridge, and you're not in outer space. So take some time for that virtual background to leverage some personal branding or branding that accelerates your own message to your clients. It's not about you, it's about them. You're not in outer space, and you're not in the Bay Area selling the Golden Gate Bridge, especially if it's poorly lit with distractions. So how do you fix that? Well, first of all, you got to equally light the green screen. So the green screen's got to be the same color lit with your lights, each part of the green screen that shows up on the lens. And of course, the lighting's going to cast a shadow on you. So the closer you are to the green screen, the more likely you'll have shadow. But equally light the green screen, but light yourself and be aware of the shadow. And how can you test this? Well, Zoom provides a test for doing video calls. You can test your audio, you can test how you look, but put in a virtual background. And I recommend trying a white background or a light blue color because the shadow will really show up on a white or blue background. And if you've got that keyed in right with no shadow, with no color issues, you'll be set to go. So use the test before you go live on any video call. Test the equipment, test the audio, and test how your virtual background looks. Because lighting changes, everything can change. And the more shadow you have, well, the more distraction you're going to have in the background. And you can tell a poorly lit virtual background with green around the hair or the hairline or in the lower thirds of the green screen where people don't pay attention to detail. You'll see shadows and effects. And of course, pixelation when you can see through body parts on camera. So light it correctly, light the subject view, and test it out. That can eliminate an awful looking virtual background. And then think about what your background is and what it means to your clients and your viewers. Now the same applies to your home office. Non-distractions, a lot of clutter in the background. A lot of people rock the bookcase. That's a matter of preference in the background. Is it a distraction? I don't know. But if you're cluttered in the background, you need to clean it up. Another thing that kind of gets on my nerves is I see a lot of people, they're unaware of what's behind them when it comes to maybe a door. I'm always thinking when I'm watching a video of somebody doing a video blog or an interview and they got a door behind them and they're filming in their spare bedroom, that somebody's going to walk through that door. Or better yet, the ceiling fan up top, helicopter head, or too much space between your head and the top of the screen. You want to frame the message. Message framing with video is very important. The rule of thirds, being able to fill up the screen, but not too close where we're right up on your face. But you definitely want to be seen in the screen, and you don't want to be so far back, leaving gaps to the left, to the right, and especially up high. Film the shot, test the shot. Framing is just as important, whether it's for a virtual background or a non-virtual background in your home office. Another thing that really kind of gets on my nerves, it's a pet peeve, is I don't get big headset guy on a sales call. Now, perhaps you need the headphones for an audio podcast or something, and I understand that. But think about what you would say to somebody if you met them face to face. Would you be wearing the big headset? A lot of people use what's called a whiteboard to draw attention to their client. Well, I think we can do a little bit better than just writing their name, "Hi, Johnny," and then wave at them crazy like. Do better with your whiteboards. If everything after that message doesn't bring any value to Johnny while you're waving and writing their name on the whiteboard, well, it's not personalized at all. I have a whole video series on personalizing sales video messaging and how to take it to the next level. Whiteboards are effective for getting their attention, but is it personalized in that entire message? You got to deliver value, insight in the context of your message. You're on stage in a sense when you're doing your video calls. So I recommend keeping it 100 with everything that you can provide in that video that enhances your message. Let's say I'm trying to get in front of an author. I could write the author's name on a whiteboard, and I probably would, but I could also bring up their book and say, "Hey, Tom Williams, I got a copy of your book. I would love to do some video work for your next book or some video project work to enhance readership of your book." Think about the props and the mindset. Plus, these are all what's called pattern interrupts. A straight talking head video is good, but you want to change it up a little bit with a pattern interrupt because you want their attention, you're competing for time, and you want to keep them engaged. So keep it 100 with your visual elements. Adding supporting text and graphics, which you can do on a green screen, or using a tool like Vidyard and being able to do a screen capture of your client's website. Screen captures personal branding of your client is another way to separate yourself through visual elements in your video background. Clutter-free, properly lit, have a message, leverage props, frame it correctly, and more importantly, add all these components to enhance your video and sales video message.
Vonda here with a quick message. Use visual elements to complement your message, adding additional value for the viewer, not a distraction. It's all about the action for value and call to action. In layman's terms, back to you, Doug. Vonda is out.
Thanks, Vonda, and thanks for keeping it 100 with the pattern interrupt. Vonda V, always adding value to the show. So let's talk about repurposing video content and why you want to do that and increase your video content library. Now, we're inundated with a lot of video today, and you've probably watched a million Zoom calls, conference calls, video webinars, video podcasts, etc. And if you're fortunate enough to be interviewed, let's say on a 60-minute or a 30-minute video interview, a long-form video, and perhaps during that long-form video, you talked about, I don't know, a lot of topics. Let's say 10 topics that could stand alone. Well, that's a great resource, that long-form video, to take that content and make short-form video clips. Re-edit that longer video into short video clips that can stand alone, that you can redistribute to your clients, customers, and viewers. It has a lot of benefits for that. Sure, I could send you the full 60-minute video interview if I want to share that with a client or customer, or I could share a 1 to 2 minute video that delivers value specifically to your viewing audience. Send them the short form video, but give them a link to the full video interview. You definitely want them to watch everything if it resonates value, but give them a taste of what matters because you're competing for time and attention, and backlink the full video link. Another idea is to take the long form video and timestamp different talking points or different topics or segments that were in the video. Help the viewer out. You're competing for their time and attention. Make the viewing experience more practical for them. Here's another example of repurposing video. I actually did a 15 to 20 minute speech on all things video, social video, testimonials, and a whole bunch of other things. And some of it's relevant to my audience and some of it may not be relevant to my audience. So what I did is I took that long video and I took it and put it into short form video clips. In fact, I'm going to share with you a 1-minute clip from that 20-minute video. Vonda, let's roll that footage right now. Are you tired of being average in your presentation, or do you want to set the bar high? Tired of being average, but have video excellence? Put you at a competitive advantage in front of your customers while the competition is not leveraging video to its fullest. And when I mean leveraging video to its fullest, besides presentation value, video is a visual media. If you're just going to do video presentations with a talking head, you might as well go out, put a nice photograph, and have some audio there. What I mean by that is use the video for the visual storytelling. Let's say I'm trying to get in front of a client. Perhaps pull up their website online. Look at their website and maybe do a screen capture of their website when you present to them, because they'll see that brand identity, so leverage that. You can't do that with text. And there you have it. It was a short form video clip that was 1 minute long, which I can share to an audience. I can share to my clients. And then I can give them the link to the full 20-minute interview, and I can timestamp it for their own viewing experience. Now, you can also take that 1 to 2 minute video, share it on LinkedIn, share it on Twitter, Instagram, or whatever social network is practical for your own viewing experience and audience engagement. But you can take that 1 minute video and even go a little deeper and do like a mini micro video. Stories, Instagram, Facebook. LinkedIn has 20-second stories. So take the 1 minute video and make a micro video that's 20 seconds long of a great soundbite. Now, somebody may see that video that's 20 seconds long and say, hey, I really like what he had to say in that 20 seconds. Give them a link to the full video. Are you tired of being average in your presentation, or do you want to set the bar high? Tired of being average, but have video excellence? Put you at a competitive advantage in front of your customers while the competition is not leveraging video to its fullest. So being able to build your video library from long form to short form to mini form videos can expand your reach, make it a better viewing engagement process for your viewers, and it just expands different types of video. Now, repurposing video has a number of benefits during the entire sales cycle, better yet, the buyer's journey. Let's say your buyer is at the decision phase, but they need some visual social proof. Having a video testimonial in the same industry that your buyer's in, send them that video. It may be a video that's broadcast one to many or one to few, and we can talk about personalization to audience in another video topic, but having that video that resonates some form of value at the right time that's in your video library. Hey, they're at the decision phase. A testimonial video might help push them along further in the buying process. An explainer video or a frequently asked questions video. These are all video components that you can repurpose at different times. Think evergreen in your video blogs. Videos that stand the test of time, extend the shelf life, that bring value at any time that you could bring out a couple years later. Build that video library, take long form video, repurpose that into short form video clips. Now I'm going to send it back to Vonda, and then we're going to close out with the concept of social watching for better video research and sales engagement. Vonda?
Thanks, Doug. Our next topic is the concept of social watching for better sales research and sales discovery. I have to say this, Doug, there are a lot of brand new trainers out there talking about selling with video or virtual selling, and they just started doing this. Imagine that. They are limited and lack true video context and expertise. We have been talking about this for at least 9 years, virtual selling with video. Our social proof is there. In layman's terms, we are the OGs of this. Let's close the show with our last segment. The concept of social watching. Let's do this, Doug. Vonda out.
Thanks, Vonda. And thanks for talking about the visual social proof when it comes to virtual selling video. We've been doing it for a while, and we definitely know what we're talking about. I appreciate it, V. So let's get into the last topic, social watching. Now, we've heard the term social listening, and it comes from social selling. You're out there ear hustling for trigger points, newsworthy items to engage your potential clients and prospects. You're looking for research, intel socially. But you ever think about leveraging video as a channel for your own research? It fits many needs. First of all, if you watch your clients and customers on video, well, it's the next best thing to be in there, but you can visualize the human approach and mirror them on how they speak and perform with video. Written forms of text and audio, well, they can be done by script writers, ghost writers. It could be secondhand information, but a video gives you a truer form of research when you look at somebody presenting. Also, YouTube's the second largest search engine out there, and video is a key component and video search. So do some social watching to understand how your clients and customers present, but also uncover some great information when it comes to research prior to even engaging and making a call. Before sales discovery, you got to do research leveraging video, which is underutilized, and not too many people are talking about video as a discovery tool in the sales process pre-discovery. Now, in our last section, we talked about repurposing video content. And I like to share a few video on the topic of social watching. I did it a few years back, establishing a little visual social proof on the phrase that I coined, social watching. That video made sense back then, and it definitely makes sense back now. So, Vonda, let's roll that short video on the topic of social watching. Time to break it down in layman's terms. Today I want to talk about the concept of social watching for social selling. Now, we all are familiar with looking for trigger points, points of engagement, social listening. There's a lot of great software platforms out there to help you engage with potential clients, prospects, looking for the right trigger point to have a conversation and engage further. But let's talk a little bit about social watching. Now, let's face it, we're visual learners by trait. We like to watch visual things. We go to movie theaters. We watch countless hours of recorded or live television. Think about leveraging that in your research process when it comes to sales. Let's say you're a job candidate and you're looking at a company. Go to their website and look at their visual content. Check out their YouTube channel for research. Go to Google, go to Bing, whatever search engine, and type in video. You're going to get some great information about a company or potential prospect if they're doing video. Now, I know audio's great, white papers are great, written forms of content are great, but let's face it, you got ghost writers, you got editors, but if you put video on a prospect or subject, they're more inclined to tell the story because you can't hide it as much in video. It's just simply more authentic, and you may get some great resource of information visually. And let's face it, we're visual learners. Let's leverage it for social research, especially in the sales process. So the next time you think of the word social listening, back up a minute and start social watching. I'm Doug Lehman, breaking it down in layman's terms. Let's conceptualize, visualize, and recognize the power of video for true customer engagement. Let's go out and research and do some social watching today to help engage with your potential clients, prospects, and new customers. Take care. And there you have it, social watching. Leveraging that is sales discovery, sales research. It's a great form to position yourself to engage with your clients and customers. Now, just to recap, we talked about visual elements for competing for time and attention with your clients. Then we talked about repurposing content, showed a couple examples of that. And then we closed up with social watching. Well, I'd like to close this video episode out with some added video footage that's repurposed in short form video clips. So let's roll that footage, and I want to thank you for your time and attention. In layman's terms, thank you for social watching. Let's roll that added bonus footage now. But I want you to think about one, video being the alpha here. text and audio being the supporting characters. Because we're faced right now with not being able to get in front of our customers, lean in and talk to them. But before we get into individual best practices for video throughout the entire sales cycle, from pre-sales to the demo phase, to post-sales and customer advocacy, let's fall back a little bit. Because some people are apprehensive about video today. They find it challenging, not sure about it. So let's talk about the video process. Let's tighten it up a little bit. Put you at ease. Actually, let's loosen up. Getting in front of the camera, being natural, getting your reps in. Go online and study people presenting on camera. I use the term social watching. In social selling, you hear the term looking for trigger points or social listening. You're out there ear hustling. Well, I want you to be out there looking at video and understanding how people are presenting on video, because practice, 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 and get your reps in with video. Being able to fall back and understand the basic concepts of video: lights, camera, action, framing your shot. They all come into play right now. To do video email and how to engage with your clients with the right video email that works on your computer, but more importantly, on your mobile device. Because more than half of emails and content are read on a mobile device. Landscape mode, vertical mode, they're looking on their phone, so you've got to mobilize the video content. So how do we do that? But more importantly, how are you using video throughout the entire communication process today? Being able to engage with your clients from the beginning to the end and setting them up for future clients or repeat business. Upselling is what I meant to say. It's powerful. Having your clients or customers do a video on your behalf, generating user content, saves you on production time, but it also helps show the realness of your products and services. Are you tired of being average, or do you want to be excellent? It's time to get that competitive advantage. It's time to use that video correctly. Use the visual elements, use text, use audio to support that, to get those callbacks. Because just putting content out there, if not a response, well, you know the answer to that. Look, we're in this virtual business world right now. It's not going to change. So are you ready to amplify your better customer engagement through visual elements and video? We're going to get into that in the keynote and a lot more.